It most likely was done, well, it's partly done to launder money for the globalists, but it's also done to try to ruin the crypto market. And then we literally just named him Bankman. I don't know, I'm kind of like a little infatuated with Caroline. She's so awkward and dumb, and the way she, like, I'm trying to see if I could copy her little laugh. She's like, ah, she'll be like, and then we lost it all doing this.
For me, a lot of it was just about sort of, readjusting my expectations and being open to whatever happened.
I wish I paid a bit more attention to it. You know, my only thoughts on FTX until 2 weeks ago was how the hell, where did these people come from and who is the Sam Bankman? It made no sense to me. Like, the crypto market's only about, what is it, 13 years old now. And in the early days, I knew everyone involved. Like, you know, it was Roger Ver and Charlie Schramm and Eric Voorhees, and there's a whole bunch I'm sure I'm missing. But most of them were all anarcho-capitalists, and we all knew why we wanted Bitcoin to succeed. We wanted it to destroy central banks. So for someone like Bankman to come along, and I've never heard of him, he came out of nowhere, and then he has this name, Bankman Fried. I wish I had looked into it a little bit, because it would have taken like 10 minutes. If I just saw one video of their fund manager, Sweet Caroline, I would have been like, short this. I don't know what this is, but this is not legitimate. This is not going to work, whatever it is. But I didn't look into it. But it's just gotten crazier and crazier. Hear me out. We hacked the exchange after filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. You know, all the great people have mostly been like, actually some of them have disappeared. Oh, another one of the first people who told me about Bitcoin was Trace Mayer. He's basically disappeared, but for a good reason. He's basically a billionaire now, and he's always been into privacy. So he doesn't tell anyone where he is. He doesn't do anything publicly, I don't think, anymore. But my point is, I knew everyone, but this Bankman guy came out of nowhere. And it's sad because a lot of the great people, like John McAfee, he was great. He was like, Monero's the only damn currency that's used.
Go on the dark web, find a single fucking vendor that will accept Bitcoin anymore. Nobody. 100% is Monero.
He was against the Internal Revenue Service and taxation, and he was on the run because of it. And they ended up killing him in a jail in Spain. It's amazing. Like, what's that old saying? It seems like all the good people seem to die young or something. The crypto guy we deserved, the guy they sent. Oh, just to mention, Sam Bankman said he was a vegan. I think he was like 30 years old. His body was unbelievably bad. I would say, like, if he really was vegan, actually there's lots of evidence he's not. He's a total con man. But like, he might have turned off a lot of people from veganism. Like, just, these people are all incredibly ugly. Oh, Sweet Caroline. It's funny though, people are trying to pick, because there has to be a movie about this. This is actually huge. Like, I'm joking about it, but it's a huge, huge event. And all the things tied to it, which I haven't even got to yet. Like, this is like an epic movie. Of course, the movie will likely be like every movie. Like, Pearl Harbor wasn't about how the US made basically Japan attack them to get into World War II. It was a love story. The movie The Titanic wasn't about how JP Morgan killed off anyone against the Federal Reserve in 1913 and actually sunk the boat on purpose as part of an insurance fraud and to get rid of all the opposition. The movie Titanic was about a love story. So I'm sure any Hollywood movie about this will be totally not close to covering the real truth about it. But people are trying to pick who the actors will be, and so far I've seen some pretty funny ones. So here's some of them that people have found. Now keep in mind that Sam Bankman was going around saying there needs to be much more government regulation of the crypto market. I'm going to get into how he basically had ties to the Biden administration and the SEC, and they were trying to ram through a bill that would basically make FTX into like a monopoly under these regulations. And people don't realize how close this came to them doing it. They're actually still trying to ram the bill through that they've been supporting. But also FTX was just about to launch a stable coin. If they had done that, they probably could have kept this going for a while and used regulations to get rid of all their competition and probably hid most of their fraud. So in a way, this is really good this happened, but it's pretty funny because the anarcho-capitalists were all talking about how crypto, well, first of all, government shouldn't exist, and they shouldn't regulate anything, but that crypto actually regulates itself better than any government can. And don't forget too, one of the biggest frauds ever was MF Global, with I think his name was John Corzine, who was actually the head of the NASDAQ prior to that. And he pulled off one of the biggest frauds in one of the most regulated markets. Like, these happen all the time. Enron, same thing. That was all regulated, right? But this is part of what they want. And already, Janet Yellen's come out saying there needs to be more regulations in the crypto market. And the clown in the White House saying the same thing.
Without proper oversight, cryptocurrencies, it risks harming everyday Americans. So this is something that clearly we monitor and that we see as an important issue. But the most recent news further underscores these concerns and highlights why prudent regulation of cryptocurrencies is indeed needed.
But this goes deep, and I'm not going to give all the evidence here. That's not what I do. Hopefully other people in the crypto space do this. I'm sure they are. But like Bankman-Fried's, it's complicated, but basically his whole family's in the government, in regulation in the government. And I saw this tweet: only one man can raise the billions required to save FTX. But that's the thing, they were actually money laundering tens or hundreds of millions of dollars from the US government, the Biden administration. They'd send it to the Ukraine. The Ukraine would put a lot of it back into FTX, which both helped keep it liquid for a bit. And then FTX would donate, and I think they donated tens of millions of dollars. It's probably a lot more, because they got hundreds of corporations, to Democrats in this selection. Yeah, it's US tax dollars at work. Biden gives US tax dollars in forms of military and humanitarian aid to Zelensky in the Ukraine. The Ukraine uses US aid to partner with FTX and gives them the money. FTX donates dollars to Democratic Party PACs and candidates. They back Biden. Repeat. This should be the real movie, Ponzi Scheme, film based on a true story. And here's Bruce Fenton, another anarcho-capitalist who's around like an OG of the early Bitcoin days. He's also spoken at Anarchapulco, I think. Or he's been on Anarchast at least. Sam Bankman takes customer money and donates $31 million to mostly Dems and $5 million to Biden. Biden appoints Gensler SEC chair. FTX meets him to discuss special treatment. The daughter of Gensler's old boss is the FTX president. Gensler's former staffer was FTX general counsel. Clear? I should have known too, but I don't pay attention to these globalist things too much. I pay a little bit, but not too much.